Hello and welcome to the Kind Regards podcast, where we discuss navigating life at the intersection of career and business. It's not every day we get to speak to a public sector leader who kind of operates behind the scenes. And it's definitely not every day we get to speak to a public sector leader who is as passionate as the woman we'll be talking to today. We are speaking to Margaret Kapambwe, who currently serves as the Deputy Director of the Public Prosecutions Department and heads the Asset Forfeiture Division at the National Prosecution Authority. That's a bit of a mouthful. You can understand why I had to read it. I am so excited to sit down with her to talk about her journey of almost 2 decades serving in the legal justice system and why public service matters and what makes it worthwhile pursuing as a career and what drives the passion behind the cause. Welcome to the Kind Regards podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Really glad to be here.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure. I've been really keen to talk to someone from public sector because, I think we just have so many perceptions and assumptions about public sector. And it's lovely to have people who are in the space who are passionate about what they're doing and they're go-getting in that space. So thank you for making the time. But before we get into the conversation, I want us to have a couple of icebreakers to get to know you a little better. Morning or night?
Actually, I'm a bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really have a specific time to say I'm a morning person or a night person.
Yeah.
I wake up at 5. In fact, I have a mental clock. No matter how late I sleep, even if I slept at 4, I'll still wake up at 5.
Yeah.
So I wake up at 5 religiously.
Yeah.
But I sleep very late as well. I'll be up even up to maybe 02. So yeah.
What are you doing at 2?
I'm reading, I'm writing briefs, I'm giving people instructions even at 2.
Oh, wow. The lawyer never sleeps.
No. Crime doesn't sleep.
Honestly, fair. Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Yes. Sweet tooth?
Yes, I am. I love chocolate.
Is that your favorite dessert?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. No, though I love fruits as well. So this is me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come and talk about it. I'm a paradox.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love chocolate, but I love fruit as well. But I think we'd go with chocolate.
Chocolate. Would you rather a beach holiday or a city holiday?
Beach holiday anytime, any day.
Yeah?
Yes, I love the water. I love water. I love the sea. I love the calmness which it brings. It helps me think.
Yeah?
I just love the sea. Wild or calm or smooth. I love all of it.
Yeah? If you could teleport anywhere right now, where would it be? Time or place, actually?
Where would it be? Interesting. I think I would, it would be Angola in Lubango.
Okay, tell me more.
So, Angola is something which was a surprise for me. So we went for work and we went to this beautiful place called Lubango, and it has just these beautiful views, beautiful mountains, and it's amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Lubango.
Yes.
I'll add it to my bucket list.
You should.
Awesome. Okay. The last icebreaker is, what do books mean to you?
Okay, so for me, books means a happy place. Books means an escape. My mom was a teacher, so I started reading as far back as I can remember. I've always read. When I'm going through difficult points, I escape in my books.
Okay.
So books is a happy place for me. That's what books are.
I see. So what kind of books do you read?
I read everything. I read crime, I read romance, I read journals, I read autobiographies. I read everything. Everything and everything I can put my hands on.
Lovely. Okay. I wonder, I guess I was about to say, I wonder where you get the time. But then if you're up at 2 a.m. and waking up at 5, you have a lot of hours in your day.
Surprisingly, I don't even have a lot of hours in my day. I'm always trying to find enough time. I guess that's why I wake up that early and sleep late, because there's just not enough time in a day to do the things I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, who is Maggie?
Okay.
The person and the professional?
All right. So first and foremost, Maggie is a child of God, and she's loved recklessly by Him. That's the most important thing. And then, in addition to that, Margaret is a paradox. Like I told you, I'm a mixture of so many things. Like I discover myself, I think, on a daily basis. There are times when I find Maggie and I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. Which is everything in there. So I'm an introvert and also an extrovert. I am a very kind person, but also not very kind. I'm a mixture of things.
Yeah.
I'm everything and anything, I think, which requires me to be at that point.
Yeah.
And then professionally, I'm a state advocate. I am a deputy chief state advocate, to be specific. I head the Asset Forfeiture Department, so I'm a director in charge of the Asset Forfeiture Department at the National Prosecution Authority. I'm also the convener of the steering and technical committee of the interagency framework. I'm also a focal point person of a number of regional and home organizations. Yeah.
Okay, see, it sounds like you have a lot on your plate in terms of you do, eh?
Yes, I do.
And I can't wait to dig into all of that. Okay, so I want us to go back to Maggie at about 5 to 10 years old. What was her dream for herself? Has she realized that?
Okay, great. A very good question. Maggie, at 5-10 years, I wanted to be a scientist.
Okay.
In my reading, I would read about these scientists who discovered things. And then I think because I discovered things at a quite young age. So I'll read about Sir Isaac Newton, about Darwin, about all these scientists who discovered things. Yeah. And I always wanted to discover something as well. Like I should find a theory which would be named after me. So I always wanted to be a scientist who would discover something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and add to humanity. Just like they added to the law of relativity and these brilliant laws. I was like, I need to find something which will also add to humanity.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be a scientist when I was younger.
I see. And how did you wind up on the right side of the law?
The right side of the law, if you're on the right side of the law with me.
Yeah.
So when I went to campus, I didn't go there to study law. I went to campus with an open mind. So when I got there, everyone was talking about getting into law school. So I got fascinated. Like, what is it about law school? Why does everyone want to go into law school? And people would talk about how it was such a challenge, how it was very difficult to become a lawyer, to get into law school, first of all. And then they'll talk about the moot courts, they'll talk about Ziali. So I was like, that's a good challenge. I love a challenge on any day. So I said, let me try it. I want to go into law school. I want to see if I can make it into law school. So I took the challenge and tried to see, can I make it into law school? And I did make it into law school. And I discovered I actually enjoyed law and being a law student and later being a lawyer. So I believe it was my path. It was my destiny. Yeah. I love what I do. Yeah.
That's so interesting because when you're speaking about science, your face lightened up. But again, as you speak about the law, you're like, I love what I do. So do you have are you still interested in science? And is that something you've missed at all or no?
No.
You're like,
no.
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
I've totally not missed it at all. I think it was a childhood dream. It was a fancy dream of a child.
Yeah.
I believe I'm right where I need to be. You know, God directs our paths. He ordered my steps. He orders my steps. And He knew I needed to be where I am now. I would not trade what I do with anything.
Yeah.
I love what I do. And it's those things they talk about to say, would you go for work even if you're not paid? Of course, it's nice that I get paid for it, but I think I would actually do it pro bono.
Really?
I love prosecutions. There are many days when I'm dragging I'm tired because, like you said, that days when I'm really exhausted, I've got burnout. And there are days I'm dragging myself going to court. I'm like, oh. But then when I get there, I listen to the witnesses. We've got a good murder case, a good aggravated robbery case. And I talk to my witnesses and I take the stand. It's like something just comes over me. And I wear it. And I'm excited. It's like the first day I'm in court. I'm loving it. I'm really, really passionate about it. So every day is a new day for me. Every day is a new experience. Every day meeting these new people, because the beauty with court is that it's never old. We meet new witnesses every day. It's always a different case. Of course, it can be a murder case, but the murder weapon may be different. It can be today it's an axe. Tomorrow it's a knife. The other day it's a gun. The witnesses are different. The motives are different. The intentions. So it's always something new. It's always a new page. And I'm seeing these new people who I am helping, I think, make their life a bit better or bring closure to what they suffered.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it's always a new day. It's always very exciting.
I love that. And I love when I meet people who are passionate about what they do and they say, even if I had to do it for free, I would do it.
Yes.
I would. That's amazing. And it's one of the reasons, to be honest, I started this podcast, because I'll meet people like that and I'm like, we've normalized people hating work and disliking what they do and just chasing the paycheck. I mean, and nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But I think it's also important to showcase people like yourself who are so passionate about their field and so on. So yeah, so that's...
And I think it should never be about the paycheck. I think money is definitely important.
Yeah.
I love money. But if you're going to succeed in what you're doing, and if you're going to bring any change, you have to love what you're doing.
Yeah.
You have to find what drives you, what gives you passion, what makes you excited to wake up every day and say, I get to do this. Because for me, work is not, when I go to the office and I do these prosecutions, I do this asset recovery, it's an honor. It's a privilege. It's I get to do this. I get to do this for the people of Zambia. I get to add value.
Yeah.
So it's something I do, and it's something I think if everyone can find that piece of passion, I think things would even be different, even the way we execute things.
Yeah. I see. So, like you said, you get to do all this for the people of Zambia. You've been in the public sector for about 17 years.
Yes.
That's quite a while. And I wonder what has driven you staying in public sector for that long, as opposed to maybe you going into corporate law, which is very lucrative. Like,
Of course.
You know?
Of
So
course.
I'm not saying working in the government is not lucrative. I'm just saying private practice might be considered more lucrative. What has kept you in public sector?
Okay. So what has kept me, like I said, it's patriotism first and foremost.
Yeah.
When we go to court, we are called the state, and our cases, it's the people versus that.
Yeah.
So I represent the 20 plus million of Zambians.
Yeah.
That is something. So I'm passionate about bringing value, like adding, because, our forefathers fought for independence, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We can't go and fight for that independence.
Yeah.
What can we give back is, if you're in this public space, I am adding, because when we have someone who's killed people or gender-based crime, or who's stolen money with what I'm doing asset recovery from the thousands of Zambians to enrich themselves out of greed, when I do the right thing and we win a case and we give the money back, or we put someone behind bars, that is something which I'm adding. Like, I'm adding to society. I'm making society a better place than if there was no one. So I know the corporate world is more lucrative.
Mm-hmm.
There are times when there are people who are on the WhatsApp class group and they're in private practice and they're doing so much better. They have these fancy cars and the fancy houses. But then that's their path.
Yeah.
Someone has to do this job.
Yeah.
Someone has to do what I do, and they need to do it with love.
Yeah.
So that keeps me going. Like, I'm also adding value. I may not have the fancy cars, the fancy homes, but what I have is I think satisfaction, which goes beyond the material things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We live in a capitalist society.
Of course.
But it's not always that people will choose a service and purpose over a more lucrative pursuit. So that's quite impressive. Over your life and your legal career, so I'll start with the life aspect. What would you say have been some of the most defining moments?
There have been a number. I think I have had I've had a very good life, I can say. I have visited so many places. In fact, that's what government does for us.
Mm-hmm.
We get to visit so many countries in the work we do.
Yeah.
But what has been most defining is, I think, having my children. I have 3 brilliant boys, amazing children who every day I look at them, I'm just amazed. I'm just blown away. Like, these are my children.
Yeah.
And they're just amazing people. And they've made it their mission in life to put me on the straight and narrow. So I think that has been one of the most, giving birth to those brilliant boys.
Yeah.
And also when I started, one of the defining in relation to what I'm doing now, I remember I attended a workshop in South Africa on asset recovery. And it's those things where you're in that meeting and you can feel your life will never be the same. I think that was one of the most, it changed the way I think, it changed the way I look at things. And then when I came back, it was implementing, what can I do? I wasn't in the asset recovery space. At the time I went for that workshop, and it's just God putting you there. I was actually in Southern Province, Choma. I was heading the Choma province, and somehow I found myself attending that training. And even when I was in Choma, I started implementing the things, because even when I went there, it was such a big dream. I'm like, how do we implement these things they're saying? I'm actually not in Lusaka. I'm in Choma. How does this work?
Yeah.
So asset recovery was that. Like, it was totally new. It was totally a shift. It was asking us to do things which we had never done and asking them to do in a different way. That excited me.
Yeah.
That excited me. And I was like, it would be interesting to do this. But then I'd never thought I would actually do it at the magnitude I was doing.
Yeah.
And also, we asked what was one of my most defining moments in this space, like in my career. When I started heading the Asset Forfeiture Department, so Zambia has been a member of ARINSA. We have a regional body called ARINSA since 2010.
Yeah.
When I joined ARINSA in 2019, 2020, Zambia was totally unknown at ARINSA. You know, you attend a meeting and no one is talking anything about Zambia. They never do things. We never submit statistics. We don't have any cases. We're literally not doing anything. Zambia is not anywhere. And I attended that meeting. I said, in the next 3 years, we'll be leading. In the next 3 years, everyone must know about Zambia. And 3 years later, we got the award of excellence.
Wow.
For ARINSA, Zambia. For now, everyone talks about Zambia's cases. Zambia is leading in the ARINSA region in terms of asset recovery. So when I said it, it was something, even when I said it, I even laughed at myself. I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
There's no way. I did not even understand how I was thinking about that. But I said, I need to bring my country to the fore at the ARINSA meetings. When they're talking about asset recovery, Zambia must be on the table.
Yeah.
Zambia must be one of the people who are contending, who are talking about what they're doing in this space. And that's where we are.
So everything you said is interesting to me, because for one, you said you don't like to do things over and over. So you're big on innovation, right? So again, I'm like, that's so interesting that you've stayed in public sector, because like I said, for a lot of us, we have these preconceived notions about public sector. Is like the way you process an NRC today is the way it was probably done 10 years ago, right? So you sound innovative, very ambitious, bold, and tenacious. You're like, you set a goal and
we must get it.
We must get it. Where does that come from? Like,
where does that come from? I think it comes from God, because God has called us to be excellent. Yeah. I think many times when people think about a Christian, they want to think about a weak person, a person who's just like, yes, no. But our example is Jesus Christ. When you read about Jesus excites me, and I'm even just like, okay, when I answer rudely to some people, I'm following Jesus, because Jesus was just this larger than life human being, a person who goes in a temple and starts whipping people, a person who people come and he answers them things, the way Jesus used to answer, the way he used to conduct himself, a very bold person. You know, the Bible is an amazing book. It tells us everything which we need to do to have a fulfilling life. Yeah. In relation to work, it says, do everything unto God. So when you do that, because God sees us every point, there are people who go to the office and they want to impress the boss. So what do you do when the boss is not there? But when you go to the office or when you're working, when someone wants to offer you a bribe, when someone comes to you and they say, sell this case, your boss may not be there, but God is there. So we do this unto God, and He asks us to have an excellent spirit. So excellence means wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, I need to bring excellence to it. It's in the way I speak to the witnesses. It's in the way a public person walks in the office and asks me for advice. I'm not going to treat them because there's a rich person or they're a poor person. I represent the people of Zambia. So even when a person who's just come from the streets wants to get advice, I would do it unto God. I will offer an excellent service. Yes.
What is asset forfeiture in the context of what you do?
Okay. So what is asset forfeiture? Asset forfeiture is a brilliant tool to fight crime. And it is something which every patriotic Zambian who loves this country must be looking for. I know there are many times when people have gotten the narrative wrong that we're just following the money, we're just following certain caliber of people. We have got a wrong mindset. We are poor-minded, so we don't want people to have money. We want people to have money. If we can have Zambians who can be rich, who can be wealthy, fantastic, because it means our country is doing well. But you must have wealth which you've legitimately gained. You must have wealth which you haven't gotten at the expense of the many Zambians. We're a poor country. You go to hospitals, you don't find medicine. Schools don't have desks. The social amenities are just not there. People are dying every day, giving birth to children, which should not be the case. Their roads are not there. Why is that? You find many times people have been paid for road contracts, which they've not done. Someone has pocketed the money. You see millions of kwacha which people have pocketed. So then we are saying, let's take the money from the wrong hands. If you've acquired wealth and you've not legitimately acquired it, we will take it away and give it back to the people who it belongs to. It's simply saying crime must not pay. Because when today I'm getting all these assets and the public servant, I start stealing money, I build lodges, my children drive fancy cars, I drive fancy cars, and no one comes after me. What is the message we're sending? Crime pays. Everyone must commit crime. If you've been empowered to be giving out tenders or contracts, and you get kickbacks from that and you become wealthy, and no one prosecutes you, what are we sending the message to the members? It's okay to do the wrong things. If you're corrupt and you end up having so much wealth and you send your money to all these places and you're living lavishly, we're sending the message to people, even the young people who are coming to say, it's okay to be corrupt. It's okay to steal, and no one will take it away from you. But when we come and say, no, you were not entitled to this wealth, and we take it away, then we're sending a message to say there's no profit in crime. Do not even attempt it, because we'll take away the property and you'll be worse off than you were before, because in addition to taking away the property, you will serve long sentences in jail. So that is a message which asset recovery simply tries to do. We'll take the property away from you and give it back to the 20 million plus Zambians so that we can all benefit from the coffers. Because imagine we're a poor country as it is. And if we've got 10,000 kwacha for the basket for all of us to eat from, and one person from that 10,000 takes 8,000 kwacha, leaves all of us with 2,000 kwacha, it makes us worse off, isn't it? But if we've got 10,000 kwacha and we use all that 10 kwacha to empower us, as much as it's little, there's still a bit more than if someone took 8,000 and gave the rest of us to 2,000 kwacha. So that's the notion of asset recovery. We want to take the money back to the people.
And I think the work you do is obviously very important. I feel like that's the height of selfishness that we have as people, where you're comfortable driving a Range Rover while the kid is living under a tree.
Exactly. And that's my point. That is exactly my point, The level of greed, sometimes you sit there and you read the docket and it crushes your heart, because you think, How can someone be so greedy? People steal millions of dollars. It's not 1 million. For me, I was saying, if you just give me 1 million kwacha in my life, I'll be happy. Yeah. But people steal millions of dollars to keep for themselves at the expense, like you said, of a child who's sitting under a tree. Rain is falling. One of the things which I do also, I do a lot of social things. I'm a member of the Sharing and Caring, and we build the communities. And you always see the level of poverty. Yeah. When you see people haven't eaten for 3 days, haven't eaten, the house actually doesn't even smell like there was ever food in this house. The children are crying, asking them, but Papa, what will they do? There is hunger. Out of all this hunger, you will steal millions of not kwacha dollars meant for these people. And we must put our hands and clap for you. No. So we must take the money back and empower the communities where we can.
And you've spoken about the community work that you do and what you see when you're out there. And I'm curious as to whether you have a particular project that you've done that you're specifically proud of.
Okay. So I don't have one specific project. I'm just very passionate, I think, in helping others. Yeah. Helping others be better than they were before. It's the, like I said, so I'm a member of Mount Zion Christian Center, and we have a group there. I'm one of the leaders in the Sharing and Caring community. So we do many programs. It's feeding programs, it's community outreaches, it's going to the hospitals, it's prison visits. So it's those things. There's no one particular one, because we have, like in December, we usually have a Day of Dominion twice in a year. A Day of Dominion when we go out and we do this big outreach. Yeah. And when you see people fighting, because we take meal and we take food hampers, when you see people fighting, almost causing a stampede to get a bag of meal, no, it's real. You know, the level of hunger is at another level. So when I get to read about dockets of people having millions of dollars in their account, I will not rest. Because I'm thinking, if we recover this money, it will go back to those people who are hardly in the community. And maybe there will not be a stampede for people getting a bag of meal.
And for sure, you will not rest because you sleep at 2 a.m. and wake up at 5. Yes. Yeah, and I mentioned before how you've been doing what you've been doing for about 17 years, right? So you deal with cases that are high stakes, corruption cases and all of that. And during your tenure, you've basically seen various governments come and go. How have those shifts in political power and all of that, how have they impacted how you do your work?
So one thing we learn when we join civil servants, when we join public service, our allegiance is to the people of Zambia. Yeah. Our allegiance is to the government of Zambia. Yeah. So it's not to the person in government. Yeah. It's the government. Mm-hmm. So whether it's Zamiwe in power today, whether it's whoever is in power does not change the way we do work. For us, we are focused. Our work is to the people of Zambia. Yeah. Our work is the Zambian citizens. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't change anything. For us, whoever is in power, if he's a good leader, and like our current president is really passionate about asset recovery, because when he came into power, and I think maybe that's how come we've had all these cases which are running. Yeah. The president is really passionate about financial crimes and asset recovery. Yeah. So he's given us that much support to do what we do. Yeah. We have political will to do what we do. Mm-hmm. So for me, that has made my work much, much easier. So I guess that's the impact. Yeah. But if another president comes, or with the other presidents, I will still focus, because my allegiance is to the people of Zambia. My allegiance is to the Constitution. Yeah. When we are sworn in, we swear and we say we will uphold the rule of law and the Constitution. So that is my allegiance. That is the first thing, the Constitution and the people of Zambia, and the government of Zambia, and not the person who's in government. Yeah. Yes.
And how do you keep yourself from being shaken by various opinions that people will have to say, oh, now that this person is in power, the target is this, if you don't mind me asking. I can't imagine it's an easy thing to hear and read.
I've seen governments come and go. And there's going to be all this talk. But I think I've seen how it finally settles. It finally settles. And I know even when sometimes at the office, when we have got, there's all this, there's a new DPP, there's so what will change. Stay focused. Do your work.
Yeah.
Do your work and do it well. Whoever comes will still work with you. I've worked under 4 or 5 DPPs.
Yeah.
And with whoever has come, I've stayed true to myself. Like I said, I work unto God.
Yeah.
I will do an excellent job despite who's in the office.
Yeah.
I will give my 100%.
Yeah.
Somehow God has our back.
Yeah.
He has our back, and if you put in your best, it will be seen.
Yeah.
No matter who's there. Of course, there may be times when you may feel victimized, but if you just stay focused, stay focused and do your work, do your part, give it your 100, eventually it all settles.
The word of the day is stay focused.
Stay focused.
Okay. So one of the many hats that you wear is a mentor within the Globe Network Mentorship Program, right? And I'm curious as to what advice you would give a person who's looking to get into public sector but wants to stand out, because like I said, people have this notion of in public sector, people clock in and leave their jacket on their chair and go to run their own building project or something. But obviously, there are people who are passionate and standing out in what they do and having that longevity in their careers. What advice would you give to someone from that perspective?
Put in the work. Put in the work, because what you put in will come out.
Yeah.
If you're putting in 10%, 10% will come out. You can't expect to put in 10% and get out 100. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
If you're going to sow maize seed, you harvest. You can't sow maize seed. You can't sow a lemon and expect that you have grapes.
Yeah.
You can't. So what you sow, there's a friend of mine who calls a reaper always comes to reap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So put in the work. Put in the work and aim to be exceptional. If you want to stand out, be exceptional. It calls for hard work. It doesn't come easily.
Yeah.
But if you want to stand out, that's what you must do.
Yeah.
If you want to climb a mountain and get to the top,
you
know that you will not climb the top sitting down and looking, I wish I can climb the top. You need to put in the work.
And
of course, there will be backlashes, there will be stress, but you need to be focused and keep climbing that mountain if you want to see that view at the top.
Yeah.
Many people will not see the view at the top because they get tired.
Yeah.
They give up. But you want to see that mountain. That is your goal.
Yeah.
You need to keep pushing. You need to give in your work. If you need to exercise so that you reach the top, exercise.
Yeah.
If you need to read more, read. So the exercise I'm talking about is what is it you're putting in yourself as well?
Yeah.
What are you feeding yourself? What value are you adding to your life? What is it that you're doing? Who are you surrounding yourself? Because also surrounding with yourself with the right people is extremely important.
Yeah.
People are currency.
Yeah.
You need to surround yourself with people who motivate you. People who are you're the same tribe. When I started in the department, I remember we were 2 or 3 or 4 in the department, and many times there were the 2 of them would be saying, "No, we can't do this. It's not done." And I said, "We'll do it." So then, when I got people who now were also believing in my dream, it became easier because there are people who are saying, yes, it can be done.
Yeah.
So I'm having this idea and another person says it can be done. It helps you push further. So you need to find your tribe, because there are days when it gets crazy. There are days when you're feeling defeated. You need to have people who will tell you, no, you can still do it. Just to give you that push.
Yeah.
So I have good people like that in my corner.
Yeah.
I have one person, like I'm saying, because sometimes when I've had a very bad day, things are not going the way I wanted them to go, we're not getting what we wanted, and it's 19:30 and I'm stressed, like we just like, okay, let's motivate each other. And this person will be there, they'll motivate me because they are coming from another jurisdiction actually, and they've seen these things. So it's good to have people who encourage you, people who motivate you.
Yeah. Lovely. And how do you find those people?
How do you find yourself? You need to be intentional.
Yeah.
You need to be intentional with finding your tribe.
Yeah.
You know, there are times when sometimes we self-sabotage.
Yeah.
When you're with a person and all they talk about is negative things, is how this can be done, how you can't do this, I think you need to know that you need to separate at this point. So you need to find those ones, the go-getters. You need to find people it's not even people who may be physical, who are in our space, like just like I'll go to Zamiwe. Sometimes it's the people you listen to.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of motivational people. In the morning, like when I wake up at 5, I listen to something which motivates my day. Like even when I'm charged. After I've listened to that, I'm excited. I can do this.
Come on.
So it's people who, they may not even be in our immediate space, but you need to find those people.
Yeah.
You need to find people who help your purpose, who help fuel your drive.
Yeah.
They add something, they rekindle your passion, they add something more flame to your fire, they make your fire bigger. Not the ones who distinguish, even when you're feeling the little hope, they come and distinguish it and kill it.
Yeah.
No. Find people, listen to people, read from people who will motivate you, who add value to your life.
Yeah.
So it's being intentional in finding them, being intentional in cutting off the ones who are not adding value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say a young person is trying to decide where to take their career. They've just finished, I don't know, Ziali, for example, and it's between corporate and public, or maybe even moving abroad or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to them is, say, the hidden potential, or just the hidden incentive for working in public sector? I always say, like, I need more people to make public sector sexy.
And it is very sexy. Public sector is extremely sexy.
Tell me.
And it pays. It's a faithful mistress. It does.
Okay.
It does pay back. It does give as good as it gets when you're giving your best. So in public sector, of course, maybe it's in the different things. It's what are you trying to take away from it?
Mm-hmm.
What is your end goal?
Yeah.
You said someone who wants to join. What are the perks? What are the,
like, what's the incentive? Like, what's the potential? Like what's that thing that you would say to them that you think would make them go from, actually, let me go public rather than go private or go overseas? And, because I feel like a lot of young and brilliant people will overlook working in public sector because A, they think their career will get stuck. B, they just think maybe I won't fit in with the culture, especially as a young person. For example, Gen Zs. I don't know if you are working with any Gen Zs.
Yes,
They're a different breed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what would you say to just give them that little sweetener to... That a sweetener, that's true.
A sweetener, that's true. I think, I guess first of all, you just need to be passionate about it. You need to want to work there. That's a beginning point. There's a time I remember when we were DPP's chambers before we became NPA.
Yeah.
We used to be very few of us. Then suddenly we got a number of people who joined, young people who joined, and then they left.
Yeah.
And for me, I was surprised. I'm like, where are they going? Why have they left? Because I wouldn't imagine.
It's an amazing place.
Like, why would you leave and go where?
Yeah.
So I guess it's first of all, you need to love public service. You need to have a love of the country. You need to be a person who wants to give back.
Yeah.
It's a service. It's public service. That's what it is. It's service to the people.
Yeah.
So it's like being a nurse. There are good nurses you go at the hospital and you find those grumpy ones and you find the ones who want to give service.
Yes.
It's the same with public service. Yeah. Proper, because even the nurses are in public service.
Yeah.
But the sweetener in the end, they are perks as well. I don't think even when we compare with private practice, public, we are not the least paid. Definitely we are not. The salaries they give lawyers who are starting out, and the salary, for instance, the NPA gives to lawyers who are starting out, I think we are better. So we are better. It's not just that it's the passion and the service. The pay is not as bad. Of course, maybe not as good as when you have your own firm. But it's not as bad. We can definitely say that we will not go hungry. And then it's the trips, like I said. I think there's no place which will expose you to travel as much as the government. I know the friends I talked about who are in private practice who've not traveled as much as I've done. So there are these perks. There are small perks. Of course, you won't go into it. If you're going in it for just saying, I want to get a lot of money, you may miss the point. We go in it because we want to serve, because we're passionate about the country, because we love Zambia. We love this beautiful country, which is our country. And someone has to serve. Someone has to be there to offer the service. So I would encourage them to come. And the Gen Zs are brilliant because they have a way of thinking which us who are older do not have. So if they come in the public service, imagine what we would do with them. So they should not shun public service. They should come with their ideas and innovate. How do we know? We may just be so much better than we are, than if they all left. You know, I'm always telling people who say, no, we left Zambia and they're serving in outside countries because Zambia, the country is bad. And I'm like, so if you leave, who's going to make it better? If you, with your expertise and your knowledge, you leave, who's going to make it better? Because the reason why you are thinking the way you are is because at least you've even seen there's something wrong. So because you've seen there's something wrong, come and fix it. But if you who's seen there's a problem and you leave, all of you want to leave for greener pastures. So then what should happen to Zambia? So you need to stay so that we make this country a better place, so that we should be the ones who people now want to come and be.
Yes, I love that. And, you know, I'm hearing you say that, and as someone who left weekly, I'm like, okay, Maggie, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so you're a woman in leadership and you're leading what, from the outside looking in, seems to be, how can I put it? It seems like a challenging job. First of all, when you're even describing like, oh, sometimes there's a murder, the weapon is different. I'm like, it sounds like you're going to work to be traumatized. Of course. It sounds like you're going to work, but obviously you're passionate about it. But as a woman in leadership in such a challenging space, and I don't know if I can say law is male dominated. I feel like I know a lot of female lawyers, so I won't say that. But do you think there are specific challenges that you have faced as a woman in leadership, or have you found it to be a level playing field for you?
Okay, so from where I come from, the National Prosecution Authority was DPP's chambers. I've never felt that. Because for the longest time, even when we were called DPP's chambers, there were more women than men. So in fact, maybe the men would complain to be the ones who are feeling victimized in that place. In fact, for the longest time, they would laugh at us to say, you've stayed in prosecutions because there were more females. Because women are hard-hearted, like they've got no mercy, so it suits them. And even in leadership, in NPA, the leadership positions are more female than the men. So in management, we have more females than the men. But I know when we come to the prosecutors, there are more male prosecutors than females. So for me, I think I kind of been shielded from feeling it, because from the time I joined from state advocate level, not prosecutor level, where we have more male than female. For me, from the time I joined, there have been more female than men. So I've never particularly felt it. No, I have not.
You haven't?
I've not experienced.
Beautiful to hear. Actually, it's a good thing to hear. And of course, we've spoken about the many hats that you wear. Obviously, you're active in the church. You're a mentor. You're also in leadership at work, and you're a mom, right? Have you experienced any burnout or moments of feeling defeated? And you're like, how do you nurse yourself back to your 100% self?
Okay. So, in fact, burnout is one of the, I rarely get sick. Sick as in ill to go to the hospital because I've got, no.
Yeah.
My illness most of the time is burnout. I even know when it's coming on. There's a time when I was working, I had been sent to go and head the southern region.
Yeah.
So I used to work in Livingston and Choma. I was mostly based in Choma because they had shifted the capital there for Southern Province. And because my family was back home, we're back here in Lusaka, I was in Choma. I would drive from Choma every Friday when I knock off. And because I didn't want to be the first to knock off, because I need to set the example, I would not leave until it's 17.
Wow.
I would wait until it's 17, then start driving back to Lusaka. And I would get up around 4 so that I would be in the office by 8 in Choma. And I did that for a number of months. Now, and when I would get home, I would want to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother, doing everything. I think there's a point when my body almost has collapsed, and I went to the hospital and they've said there's nothing wrong with you, but you've got severe burnout. You are severely exhausted. Like your body is so exhausted, it's going to shut down.
Wow.
And at that point, I realized I needed to take care of myself.
Yeah.
So I can still feel it now when it's coming. So I'm more aware.
Yeah.
But what I do also to not get to that point is that I exercise a lot.
Okay.
So I do a lot of, it's my, exercising is my happy place. So I even know that, okay, when I'm feeling very stressed, I need to get to the gym. I'll do my workouts and we're back in a happy place. Yeah. The endorphins overdrive and we're back to normal. So we need to be careful when we are in this high pressure place. Because in addition to this asset recovery, because asset recovery is not for the faint-hearted. Yeah. You know, we're talking about millions of dollars, property worth millions, and we're taking it away. Of course, people will not just sit back and wait for their property to be taken away. Yeah. So we have the most litigated cases. We have the most industrious lawyers coming up with these arguments. First time we're reading the argument, sometimes you get this brief and they've read and you're like, what? You've never seen this argument before. So you need to study, you need to research, you need to come up with an argument, you need to come up with an answer. Yeah. So it's very demanding, it's very challenging. And then in addition to that, I'm a convener of the interagency framework, and I head a number of subcommittees there. Yeah. So it's making sure these subcommittees are running, it's making sure that the steering committee is meeting, it's making sure the technical committee are meeting, it's making sure that we roll out. So it's a lot of things. Yeah. So you need to be aware to say you need your mind to be, your mental health to be in the right place. Yeah. When I'm feeling extremely overwhelmed or exhausted, I'll take my time in nature. I will take a walk, I will climb a mountain, I will sit there, and I will sometimes just have a conversation with God. And by the time I come back, I'm feeling more centered. But it's also, like I said, it's going to people who've gone before me, who've done similar things, maybe from different countries, like we have the Arinsa. So it's calling up a friend, maybe from another country and saying, look, we have this battle, have you done? And we laugh about it. We say, so we make it easier. Like, we can do this. Go, girl. So it's people who cheer you on. Like I said, a like-minded tribe, a tribe who gets me, a tribe who I can vent and say, today, you know what happened in court, and they will get me and not start criticizing me. To say, today we want to make this application for forfeiture. Yeah. It's such a big deal. I don't even know how we're going to say it. They say, you can do it. Yeah. So it's having the right people around us, to surround us.
I love that you mentioned court. What has been your best day in court and your worst day in court?
I have done so many cases. You know, someone was actually telling me when I was telling them, so, you know, when I was a young lawyer and I was a persecutor, I wasn't a prosecutor, I was a persecutor. Because for me, what used to excite me was after a murder trial or an aggravated robbery with a firearm and someone is sentenced to death. Ooh. The death sentence was just exciting for me. I was very happy with that. So when I was telling this person, and I was telling them with a very, like, I They were traumatized. They were literally traumatized. Like, you mean, so that would make you happy? And I didn't see anything wrong with it. So I can't really place. I've had many cases in court which have, sometimes you are doing a session and you have maybe 20 defilement cases. And this defilement, it's a 60-year-old grandfather who was left with a 4-year-old and they defiled. It's a father who defiles his children and he wants them not to tell. It's the neighbor who this person trusts and they defile them.
Yeah.
So by the time sometimes you're reading all those 25 cases, you're feeling in a certain way. But 2 cases have stayed with me, I think. 2 cases have kind of stayed with me. Not that I haven't had more which are violent. I don't know why these 2 cases have stayed with me. They were violent crimes. So there was this woman was married and the husband was a drunkard. She used to sell, these small things, tomatoes and things like that.
Yeah.
And what the man would do, when she sells, so in the morning, he would go and start drinking. Then at some point at 15 hours, he'll come and check how much has she sold, take it, go and drink as well.
Wow.
So this woman had 2 children and she vowed to say these children must go to school.
Yeah.
Because she realized education is the only way these children are going to come out of this poverty.
Yeah.
So she decided these children are going to school. And I think she needed to pay an amount to enroll them. She couldn't just take them. I think it wasn't free education at the time. So she decided to keep aside money now, not to give him everything. So she would keep a bit so that she's saving. So this day he comes and she says, I don't have anything because I think schools were about to open a week and she needed to make that money.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm not giving him. That man beat that woman to death. And she says, I'm not going to give him the money.
Wow.
So he killed her because she was keeping money
For the
to
kids.
send children to school. Something which should have ideally been his responsibility.
Yeah.
Even now when I think about that case, that case traumatized me. And we had to call the children to come and be the witnesses.
That's tough.
So I don't know about that case, but it really, really made me feel so bad because this woman is trying the best she could.
Yeah.
This man, all he does is drink.
Yeah.
And he kills her for doing the right thing.
Yeah.
The other one was a Mongo case where this man killed. So it's a ritual killing. He is told he needs to take the son's heart when it's still alive. So he needs to kill the child while he's still alive. He needs to take away the heart
While the
child is still alive. Something confused. Now I even forget. But he stabbed or opened up the thing and when the doctor came and says this child cried so much. In fact, they said I don't know if he died from crying more than the. And I sat there and I'm thinking, the painful death, because this child loves the father and the child is supposed to be protecting, the father is supposed to be protecting him. And the last thing I believe he died with was, my father has killed me.
Yeah.
And I was like, so those 2 cases, always, when I think about the cases, they've kind of stuck with me.
Yeah.
I've had bad cases. There's a man who was killing his friends and putting them in the pot and eating them, slicing them.
Okay.
Yeah. So there have been some bad cases.
Like that, I'm not the one who was shocked. Sorry.
Yeah, there have been some really, really bad cases, but I don't know, for some reason those two cases
stuck with you.
Yeah.
And you won them, yeah? You won.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I was in my persecutor days. I never lost a case in my persecutor.
Really? Look at you go. Okay. Well, Maggie, thank you for your service. Right? Like it's wonderful to hear someone speak with so much passion about a career in general and let alone a public service career. So thank you for your service. So what is something that's keeping you busy now?
Okay.
That you're particularly, feeling driven by and enjoying?
Okay. So one of the things which we're actively doing collectively is that we have the interagency framework. And this interagency was born from a directive by the president, because You notice like before, each institution was working in silos. Each to himself. Each one wants to get the glory.
Yep.
Each one is not talking to the other. But then we realize if we work as a team, if we hold our hands, we are better.
Yeah.
Because together everyone achieves more.
Yeah.
So if the two of us are doing something and we put our hands together, you find that the benefits we'll get, the results are so much more.
Yeah.
So that is what we have now decided. So there are 21 institutions who are working together. It's everyone in law enforcement and connected to it.
Yeah.
And the results have been amazing. I'm always telling people, I think this is what witchcraft is. Because it's literally like witchcraft.
Really?
You know, today you are working on a case and we're able to call FIC, you're able to get ZRA, you're able to get PACRA by just calling them, and they'll give you the information you're looking for.
Yeah.
Which information would take us months before because you had to write a letter.
Yeah.
The letter will get lost in the registry. It will get lost in the registry. So by the time you're getting that information, it's months and the case is stale. But now you get a case and you call people and say, I want this information, share this information. And it's amazing. In a day, you will get so much information, and that way we're more effective. So it's a quality of investigations we're doing. It's a quality of applications we're taking to court. It's the synergies we've created. It's a way we're cooperating. It's a way we're even cooperating even with the international partners, because someone will call me from somewhere outside the country and they'll say, we're looking for this information. Maybe we're looking for statistics on this. We're looking for this information. Can you connect us? And I'll simply call someone from the intelligence and say, we need this information. And they'll give me that information. And now Zambia is like the most cooperative country. Why? Because we're speaking to each other. We know who to call from police. We know who to call from national airports. We know who to call from Zambia procurement. So it's just this brilliant tool, which many times it amazes me at the amount of work we get done and in such a small amount of time. So interagency work is the way to go. Yeah. Because I always compare it to a football game. We're all on one side. We're all scoring on one side.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who's forward, who's middle, we are all on the same team.
I feel like some football enthusiasts would fight you on that and be like, why is the goalkeeper striking? But I get what you're saying. Yeah,
the goalkeeper must also stay in the goal, but then he can't see he can't just, if for some reason the goalkeeper finds himself on the other side, he will not just say, I'm not going to kick this ball because I'm supposed to be at the back.
You're like, let's get it done.
You are there, you know? So that's the thing. We are all working together. We're all focused, and the patriotism of the people in the interagency framework just amazes me, because many times we'll go for a retreat and there'll be no allowances, absolutely no allowances.
No.
But as many times, most of you have heard that the government people will only go for workshop for allowances, but no. We have held a number of workshops where people have not been paid. And the first one we held, I was even like, okay, now you're stretching it a bit. You go for a workshop, you haven't given people fuel allowance, you haven't given them any per diem, and you think they'll come. They all came religiously for all the 5 days, and they came on time, and they worked over hours. So it's these patriotic people, and many times, you don't see these people. Many people just think government service people just come, like you are saying, they put the jacket. They are there. But also, there are some brilliant people who are passionate about what they do. Who, like I said, sometimes I'm reading something and I'll call someone at midnight. I'm like, I'm reading this one. Can you help me? And they're like, yes, they are work. And they'll send the information you are needing even before you sleep. So there are a lot of people out there in the government service who are passionate about our country, who are ensuring that we do the best with the little resources we have, even without the allowances.
My last question to you is, what vision do you have for your career over the next, should I say 17 years? Because we're coming from 17. So for the next 17 years.
Okay. So having goals is brilliant. And I love people who have those goals and they have 5 years plans, 10 years, 15 years. I'm not like that. unfortunately. I remember that we have a class at church where they ask you to talk about your vision, your 5 years plan, your 10 years plan.
Yeah.
I don't have those ones. I have a vision board. I started doing a vision board. So I started doing a vision board, and it's brilliant. I would encourage everyone to do a vision board. You need to see. I've been amazed because I started doing the vision board 3 years ago. And when I go and check the vision board, you find that almost everything I put on the vision gets actualized, because then I have a vision. Every morning when I wake up, I look at that vision and I kind of call the things I'm looking at into being.
Yeah.
So it really, really is a powerful tool, vision board. But the 5 years, 10 years plans,
not so much.
I don't have. It's like where I said I went to campus.
Yeah.
I didn't have a 5 years plan. For me, I always believe I've been in different. I've served even in public service in very different. I've done GBC. I've done human trafficking. I've done the violent crimes. I've done general appeals. I've done asset recovery. So it's not like when I was starting, I said, this year I want to be here.
Yeah.
It's, for me, I always believe God leads me where I should be at every place He orders me.
Yeah.
And then when it's time to move, He always makes it clear, now you're done here. Let's go here. It's like a staircase.
Yeah.
He moves me like, okay, you're now on this staircase, stay here. So wherever I am, at that point when He directs me to that path and He's saying, we are now here.
Yeah.
I will give my all in there.
Yeah.
I will give my 100%. I will be there, focused. When it's time to move, He always opens that door for me to move. So I don't really think very far, because many times when I've thought about I want to be this, it hasn't happened the way I wanted it. So I now just follow His command. When He wants me to move, I'll move. Because some people say, no, they want to be a judge. I would not really say that. I say if God wants me to be a judge, He will make the connections. Yeah. And for me, I don't have connections. Like when I started, I've never had any connections. My connection has always been God.
Really?
So I know He'll always bring me to the right connection. He'll always take me to the place where I need to be at that right time.
Yeah.
And He'll open the door for me to be where He wants me to be. So if He wants me to work for the private sector, I believe He will. If He wants me to work for the World Bank, I believe He will. Yeah. If He wants me to work in The Hague, He will open that door. Yeah. But for me, it's to, God, I'm here and I'm giving my all when I'm here. When it's time to move, we'll move.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So I always ask our guests to leave us with a quote and a call to action, something we should implement after listening to this passionate episode. So tell me, what is your quote for us today?
The quote, I learned something from one of the DPPs I've served under. Yeah. I've had the opportunity and the honor to serve a number of DPPs, and all of them have added value. All of them have added something to where I am today. I've learned so much through them. And one of them was Mr. Mtembo Nchito. Yes. I learned something from him, and what I learned is take responsibility. Like for everything which happens, yeah. Many times when something wrong has happened, we're very quick to blame others. We're very quick to point fingers. But he said, in everything that you've done, look at it and take responsibility, take ownership. What did you do wrong? Yeah. What could you have done better? And I've learned, living that theory, it has helped me in, so I went to court today. So maybe things didn't go the way they were. What did I do wrong? So instead of just blaming everyone, no, it's the judges, I take responsibility and said, okay, maybe I could have done this differently. I should do this better. That has helped me grow. Yeah. So I would, my advice for everyone is take responsibility. Yeah. Even in a place where you may be, the person is maybe 99% wrong, there's always something which you added. Even if it's 1%, find that 1% and take responsibility. Mm-hmm. Take ownership. Something has not gone right. What could I have done better? So that is what I would like. Just take responsibility, take ownership of your action and learn from them and become better. That way you grow. So my call to action is be passionate. Do it with passion or don't do it at all. You know, there's a very big difference with people who are just mediocre. They're just living their lives, and a person who's passionate about what they do. So I don't think any of us wants to be associated with just being laissez-faire or being mediocre. All of us, I want to believe. In fact, there was someone who was telling me that because we were doing a leadership a leadership training, and someone I was telling them, everyone just like, it's normal, you must be passionate. We're like, no, Margaret.
Oh.
It doesn't follow. There are people who are just happy being there. It's not everyone who should be. But then my hope is that you can do it with passion. Leave the place better than you found it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for coming on the Kind Regards podcast. It's been such a pleasure to hear from someone who is working for the Zambian people with so much energy and passion. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. Really grateful.
The pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, remember to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend or three. Kind regards, Zamiwe.